So if anybody's here at noon, you can say, okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, here. So, chapter 8, we finished up today, and now we're in chapter 8. What word we left off on? Yeah. So we're talking about the we starting from those capacities in it, and then we use those capacities for the different parts of the intellectual process, which are the Chokhmah Dot, expressed in sort of a most outward form of real thought. See, a lot of people make not thought. Wisdom, understanding, knowledge. It means the processes expressed through real actual thought. See, because you have Chokhmah Dot, and then you have thought, speech, and action. Then thought, actual thought, is then the Chokhmah Dot, right? It's not the actual thought. Good. It's like the tool in capacity, intellectual processes that go on that are precursors to thought. But the actual thought is the most external between a garment, the outer expression, right? So you have the capacity not great into the personality, but the actual, when you then the garment of Makshava. Okay, so the thought, and then that's then and then there's Ma'aseh, actual action. It's as well. Okay, so let's look in the middle of page 324, or in the English, where, let's see, it's as is seen clearly from the 10th column towards the bottom. We're going to talk about the relationship between capacity of dot and the so central to this whole approach, the linkage between the ability to think right and then to emote right. Amazing idea. This is like cognitive, I think it's sort of like of cognitive behavioral therapy, that that our emotions are a function of the way we think. Then we'll feel, yeah, it's in the middle, where the first one, yeah, in the middle. Okay, so the example he gives is a child. So a child, okay, I was reading Steinsaltz. You know, Rav Steinsaltz has a whole, every Tanya, he has like a discussion. This guy says the live part. Okay, 19. And he would, you know, he would read and then he'd just talk, and then these were recorded and they were done. So he talks about a very profound idea in modern society, we idealize children, contemporary society. Oh, the child is an angel, so innocent. Torah does not. Torah thinks children are they're brats, they're cruel, self-centered. Yeah, they're so, yeah. We don't have idealization of children. On the contrary, so that's his example. A child has very, what do you see? Hubakas tamid. That's why children easily get angry, because they don't have the cognitive maturity to be able to distinguish between something that's worth getting upset about, right, and some three. That's why children are cruel, because of the think properly. Rosh Steinsaltz, being decent human being. A child, right, who's not intellectually developed, right, also are attracted to stupid things, small chain really love that they're not worth loving. Of course, that makes it easier. You can make it's cheaper, right? But it's like, that's all a function of the cognition, the intellect. The intellect is the root of the emotions. The child doesn't have the intellectual development to be able to love things that are actually appropriate. Love the soul that that a person thinks things that a person is drawn to emotionally, right? So that's, you get from the cognition, right, the intellect, to the emotion, to then the actual or the anybody, right? We think about how to accomplish, to get the thing to, and then that drawing to is a function of certain the intellect. That's true not just with love, true with everything. Every single thought that we have in the world, there's enclosed within that thought and emotion. He the behind the actually articulated thought, that is in fact the soul, as it were, right? It's the life force. And then from that thought comes speak. We speak about the things that we think about. And so therefore, of speech is the thought. So there's actually, this is very, I want to make sure people understand this, because see, back that distinction I made between and the more, perhaps we call it almost subconscious thought. There's something called subconscious thought. It's our natural. They're very, the actual thought. That's already machshava. That's thought. That's not chokhmah bina v'dat. Chokhmah bina v'dat is the soul of the thought. So what you do, the soul of thought, which you have the going all the way back, the chokhmah bina v'dat. So that's a certain kind of cognition, and then you get the emotions generated from that, and then you get the articulated thought.
Relationship between that and Maser Yishma. There's something about doing something that precedes understanding.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a beautiful idea there, because there's also a feedback system. So because in every, just do it kabbalistically for, we'll start with The lowest level is in the Siyota is Malchut, it's actual, right? But you have 4 worlds. Each of those worlds is so Sfirot. And everything exists in the soul. Everything exists in Kabbalah, in the cosmic world exists within us. That's what we're called a micro. So there's the Bakshava Dibur Maaseh, or the down to Malchut. But Malchut in the highest world feeds of the next world. So action then feeds into through. So the kind of feedback made me think of something. Yeah, okay. So this is something that we don't talk about very much. At the highest level of the soul, intuition, which we call Chokhmah, is a very deep part of the soul. There's something even higher than that. It's called Ratzon. It's called Keter, the crown. The crown is the king, the will, right? That action ultimately is a function of will. There's something unbelievably primal. That's when we talk about God having a will. Really, a person, people who are trained like us in the secrets of Kabbalah. So that's why we ultimately say we can't explain. God has no reasons for anything. Like people who are more into the rational kind of thinking, they're very obsessed by what's the reason for this mitzvah, what's the reason for that mitzvah, what's the reason for this mitzvah, right? Tamei HaMitzvot, the whole field of explaining. But according to the Kabbalah, the rationality only begins with Chokhmah, Bina V'dat. Keter is higher than those. Keter, crown, will. Will wants us to because you want it. That's it. It's yeah. It goes with Larry because ultimately, what's driving our actions? But then there's higher will and lower will. We can have will, like will is a bad thing, or driven by bad reasons. But there's the Rabbi Nachman of Breslov was very against philosophical thinking. He felt that it leads us astray, and it's ultimately very ego feeding. I'm going to explain everything. I'm going to understand everything, right? Is to somehow tap into. I want. I thirst for God. That's it. Sama nafshi little king. I'm thirsty. No one. If a person's thirsty, why thirsty? A religious person. I'm thirsty. Sama nafshi. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to explain it. Yeah. Sama nafshi. Sama Loki, my soul thirsts for God. Okay. Well, then that's this idea, that most inner element of will and ultimately action is the expression of want to drink, right? And then hopefully it in fact enough. Yes.
Something healthy about ego, having an ego anyways, because it deals with connecting to self-worth.
Yeah, so if we don't have an ego, right, we won't build buildings. And it has to be so informed by the right cognitions, and then informed on will, pure. And you could distort them. You could confuse pure ratzon, pure will, for willfulness. You confuse will for lust. Right? All these things are so vulnerable.
Side and the bad side.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. For a couple minutes and then we'll this, I don't like this. He's not walking in yet, but I know that the timing is always perfect, right? As soon as it's time for that film. Okay. V'hen chayutan mamash. V'adibur mevi lidei maaseh hatzedakah, right? So you have the thought, and then you have the speech, and then you write a check. Your favorite charity. Yesterday was Giving Day. Tuesday, Cyber Monday, then Tuesday Giving Day. V'chesed. Kagona melech. That's like a king. Shemitzaveh lavadav litain, like who commands his subjects to give. וגם כשאדם עושה בעצמו הנפש והייחוד מתלבש ממש לגבי כוח הנפש והייחוד מתלבש בדיבור האדם. So too, when it comes to an external expression of that which is internal to the soul, and all those things are like nothing compared to the entity. Everything else. Just like the soul is infinitely more essential to the body itself. So too, speech is more is the external part of thought, and the thought is more essential and infinite. Let's finish the chapter. He's saying the same thing as you go back, going from go back speech, thought, emotions, intellect is all relative to the step before it, which is the call. Nefesh kol habrim shebechol olamot elyonim taplim shit makor hachayut. Chokhmah is the first step of all of the expressions. Okay, and paraktet is interesting. Paraktet is the word aval, but you can see they're a little artificial because with but you better have read the previous.